Easy now, folks. Got a quick viewer response video here because Kelly was asking if you can add a canister to this Juwel 450. So first of all, Kelly, congratulations. You've just bought yourself a lovely tank. This is the filter that comes installed, obviously, and it does a great job. All that floating stuff you can see there is a load of broccoli I tossed in earlier on, and these guys have ripped it to shreds. But she's wanting to know if she could add a Fluval 307 to complement that filter. I don't have one of those, but I do have an Oasa Biomaster Thermo, and we'll see if we can answer that question instead with this. In terms of the size of the canister itself though, I don't think they're too far apart in dimensions, and as you can see there is plenty of room for a canister in each end section. I can't push it back because I've got that tank there, but you can see it will easily fit in, and the rear sections are not covered. You can get your pipe work, well, you can place it wherever you want really. The rear of the centre section does have a backboard. Try and move these things out of the way so you can see it a bit more clearly. Obviously that's my brine shrimp hatchery in the way, sorry about that. So yeah, there is a board at the back of the middle section, but you can still run your pipes through if that's where you want to keep anything. I've got all my electrics in there, as you see, and there's a gap big enough to get a plug through, so certainly pipes as well. What Kelly was specifically interested in though was whether the pipes would fit in at the back of the tank in the wee gaps there. So let's get our lid off and we'll put it to the test. I'm going to do an update video in a wee while about this tank, about some of the things that I've got going on and some of the things I've found out, but I think Kelly needs the answer to this in a hurry, so we'll do this for now anyway. So here we go then. We'll get our pipe work from the Oasa and stick it down the back there. Here's our intake, which slots in nice and easy, no problem with that at all. If we try and put the other section in, it does kind of look at first like it fits fine, but you can notice there it is rising above the wee inner edge that the lid sits on a wee bit. So let's replace the lid, which is made of a light plastic, so if the lid did have to rest on the pipework a little bit, it can. The problem being, if the lid does rise at all, and you've got the lights on, particularly at night time, you get the light shining through on your wall, which is not really ideal, is it? Let's remove the lid then, and we'll have a better look at the gap that we've got to play with here. So we've got our trusty tape measure, and we'll move the Oasa pipes out of the way. Just noticed, in fact, I had a wee bit of airline tubing sitting underneath there, but I don't think that's going to make a lot of difference. I think the pipes would have squished that flat, so I don't think that's making, like I say, any difference at all. Let's get them out of the way again then, right, and we'll measure our gap. I say I don't have the 307. I did look it up. I think the pipes are about 14.5 millimeters, and our gap here looks to be, so that's 50 millimeters across and about 20 millimeters tall. So you might have to do the maths there and see what you think, but certainly for these Oasa pipes, it's just too neat a fit. The problem we've got at the other end, of course, is there is a cutout there, but that's where the inbuilt filter sits. However, I thought I'd just try sticking the intake down in between the filter's motor and the heater, and you can actually fit an intake in there. I don't know if that's just sheer piece of brilliance from the manufacturer or pure luck, but I have to believe that was deliberate, have to, especially as it's exactly where the cutout is. In that case, well done. That is really clever. Another tick in the design build for this tank. Something I probably wouldn't have realised for ages unless Kelly asked that question right enough. But I think we can safely answer, yes, you can add the canister filter. Although you might not be able to get the pipes both in one end. You certainly can with one pipe at each end, which is probably the better way of doing it anyway. Some people choose to remove the inbuilt filter, but to me it works so well, I don't know why you would. Just while we're testing this out, I thought I'd also try a different type of intake pipe. So this is a shepherd's crook from Eheim Classic, and as you can see, that fits in perfectly well with the lid shut too. So thanks for asking the question. I think it was really interesting. I enjoyed messing about with it in order to answer your query. Hopefully it might help some others out as well. And since I've done that, like I say, if there's anything else I can help you with, give me a shout. Otherwise, I'm out. Later, 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 later.